Welcome to Vertical Football, and this is the Arsenal's talk. Yeah, Arsenal's team talk, and we're going to be talking about Arteta, to be precise. And with me here today, I have Segun. Segun, you're welcome on the show.
Great to be here.
Thank you very much for coming here to talk about Arteta with us. We saw from the previous 2 seasons, they have played pretty good football, but no results. Firstly, why do you think that is a problem?
I think, some teams are winners, in the DNA of some teams.
Yeah. But if we're talking about us winning as a DNA,
there are some teams that are winners. They have winning in their DNA. But others, they just participate. Participation is in their own DNA. And I think Arsenal, after the Golden Trophy, Arsenal has just been known for participating. I can tell you boldly, and we said it on the podcast before, that in terms of, if you want to calculate aggregate performance throughout the seasons, I think Arsenal has been the most consistent team, aggregate performance. That means in terms of where did you finish, are you in the top 4? You understand? More or less, they've been consistent right from the time of Wenger. But all they do is participate. And I think it just has to do with the DNA, the culture there. It's not a culture that wins. And I think that's what they need to address. The fans need to stop all these outlandish statements and focus on the fact that I know that there is a culture of winning. And when that culture is not there, no matter what you do, you don't win.
So I get your points. Now, but if you look at the trajectory of Arsenal, going back to the 90s, coming into till 2004, 2005, 2006, it was like a successful team. There were Premier Leagues, there were FA Cup, there was a Champions League final. Where did they get it wrong? What happened? Is it the change of ownership? Is it Arsene Wenger leaving the team? Where did that DNA take a difference?
I think there are many, because, for example, another club that is experiencing that change in DNA is Man United. Obviously. So when you look at all these case studies, either Arsenal, Man United case study, you find out that the obvious sign why there is a change in the DNA or the culture is the kind of personality that are your players. You need winners in your team. And when I talk about winners, I don't just mean winners. There are some winners that are quiet winners. The likes of David Silva, Bernardo Silva. These are quiet winners, really. But you need guys that are bad boys that are winners.
Desperate to win, obsessed to win.
Guys that they have this larger than life personality. They want to win. They must win. When you look at the Arsenal team of those glory days, the likes of Vieira, these guys were tough men. When you even see all these other guys, Freddie Lundberg, you see Perez, you see Henri, you see these guys want to win. These guys want to be the best. But Arsenal has evolved in the years to a team of schoolboys. I think it might sound, but this is obvious and it's true. They want to be honest with themselves. Where they want good boys. Boys that are good. Boys that are... And that's why we said, one of the episodes we did, where we said, Arsenal should break the bank and go for someone like Osimhen. They say, Osimhen does not fit our profile. You need a bad boy. You need someone that will fight in the dressing room to make sure that people win. This is how teams wins. You understand? This is how team win. There is no team that is consistently winning that don't have those kind of characters in their dressing room. See Madrid. See what Rudiger was doing when he let out of the Champions League. You understand? You see that mentality that no. We must win here.
One thing I see now is, I think it is happening in football general now. People that want to win, they have the way of building their team, the kind of personality they put in, the kind of coach, the kind of way they structure their team, and it gives them the results. Against what the likes of Arsenal are doing now, in the sense like they want to build a team for the years. And when you look at histories of people that want to build a team for the years, we tend to find out like there is not so much
achievement if they don't do the necessary things.
Change things, bring people
so
in.
A football team that wins trophies, as we said earlier, is a team that has the good boys, and the good boys can be there for years, consistently playing, and they can take the team, they can build that team for maybe 6 years, 7 years, and have that cohesive team together. But you need a spice of the bad boys.
People that are hungry.
You really need a spice. Permit me to say, you need a spice of the narcissist. People that believe I am the best. And I'm going to shoot at them. Because sometimes...
If we're speaking about that character now, not really narcissists, people that believe that I want to win. I am a winner. I will win. Looking
Wherever
at
I
Arsenal's
go, we win.
personalities of player
You
now,
don't have that.
You can't find it.
You can't find that. And sometimes all you need in some moments of the Premier League, some moments of the Champions League, is those personalities to do the impossible.
That just takes the game and puts it on their head.
And drive the team to win.
So let's come back into this season now. Arteta now, this is the third season on a row where he's, in this third one, he's trying to get to a place where he's a runner-up again. They started the season pretty well. They played good football.
Arsenal
always played good football, like you have said. Yeah. What did they do wrong again this season?
I think the mistakes that I want to point out did not just start this season. It started last season. And I think it's a criminal offense not to buy a striker. I don't know who has made that decision, so I can't say Arteta should be sacked. Yeah. But if I come to hear that the board wanted to sign a striker, Arteta said no, then maybe Arteta should leave the club. Should leave the club. Because it's a criminal offense. We've been saying it on this podcast many times, to the extent that I'm even tired of saying that you have to keep giving your team a new dimension every season. That is what makes team win the Premier League consistently. A point came in Guardiola's career where he won the Premier League using Gundogan as a first nine.
Okay, are we talking about personality now?
No, I'm talking about upgrading your team. Okay. There was a season where Guardiola, for a lot of games, used Gundogan as a first nine.
Yeah.
And they won the Premier League. But they were out of the Champions League. I think they met Madrid or so. They were out of the Champions League.
Yeah.
What did he do? He upgraded his team.
I get this.
Got Haaland. Yeah. Yes or no? What happened?
They won
the Champions League.
Yeah.
In like the first season now. Champions League. Every team, we have been watching Premier League since when we were young. Every team in the past 25, 30 years that we have started, or maybe let's say 25 years that we watching Premier League, or 23 years. Every team that has won the Premier League has consistently improved their team.
Yeah.
Consistently. Arsenal did not improve for the past 2 years.
By signing player. But if we talk about improving the way of play, did they get any?
I'm coming to the way of play. But let's look at the signings they made last season. This season we're talking about, this summer.
Yeah.
Sterling.
Yeah. Out of it.
Calafiori.
Out of it.
Havertz was even the Europa.
Okay, yeah.
What do you call it? They did Merino.
Yeah.
Merino tried.
I think it was
even the best signing.
It's an upgrade to Arsenal.
But reality is, upgrade does you're asking to play a striker position. Get a striker. And they didn't do that. And I thought somebody, a striker might have given them a game-changing goal against Madrid. Because imagine those crosses they were doing. Yeah. If Merino has some that hit his head in the second leg, or didn't direct it. Imagine you had someone like Osimhen, he hit it and it entered. You get?
Yeah.
So in terms of way of play, Arsenal fans I don't care if they agree, because it's always a difficulty making them to see the truths, really. But I think Arsenal's style of play has stagnated. It's clear. I said it publicly that if Arsenal enters that Champions League final against Inter Milan, it's a disgrace to the world of football. It's a disgrace to football lovers.
No, but I think I have
let me say why. Because you cannot have a team that resorted to playing direct football. Let me tell you, Arsenal's game plan in that second leg versus PSG revolved around 4 things. First one was a long ball from Raya to either Merino or Saka. Most time it was Saka. Sometimes if they didn't get Saka directly, because people were marking Saka, they would try to use Merino to put down the ball down and play to Saka. That was the first one. Second one, they depended on long throws. Arsenal would prepare to take long throws. Third one was cross and nod. Fourth one was corner. If I'm wrong, you tell me and that strategy you saw they use, because the likes of Odegaard that could be the middle of the park. I know PSG midfield obviously was better than Arsenal on that day, even though that PSG midfield also had a little bit of leakage. It wasn't that perfect, but they were better on the day. But Arsenal could not create.
So this brings out the question of, sometimes people get into situations and they find out like, Jesus, I've not seen this before. Why is this happening? And they try to be proactive. Yeah, I feel like proactivity is what happened in the Arsenal versus PSG game, if we're speaking about that precisely. And like we have always said, weaponize every part of your game.
Yes, weaponize. We've said it many times. I think I said on the podcast, I got some backlash for it. But maybe people are not beginning to believe that. And I said that in terms of development of every aspect of the game, this Arsenal team is the best I've seen in a long while.
Yeah.
They have developed every aspect of the game, long through and everything. But the reality is, that game, you need to bring more in terms of creativity. And this is not even just PSG's second leg. I've been watching a lot of their games this season. Some of them I've analyzed where I complained about it. Arsenal has lost that creative ability. I think the time I saw a little bit of that creative ability was Madrid. I thought they were back then. The second leg, you could see there was a goal that Saka scored. It was Saka that scored that ball where there was that off the ball movement, interplay passes. I think there was not like a dink shot that I think it was Saka that scored that ball. You saw some movement in the middle of the park. Was at Madrid's second leg. I thought this is the Arsenal I had known, but against PSG, and PSG was a team that the defense is not as strong as you would want.
But we will not take glories away from PSG.
No, I'm not taking glory from PSG. PSG was a better team on that day. And I say something, and I know people will come for me, but I think if you are being honest to yourself and be objective, you will say that among the 4 teams that played in that semi-final of the Champions League, Arsenal played in terms of pure footballing. Arsenal was the worst team in that and this thing. So
we're talking about PSG, Barcelona,
Inter Milan.
And Arsenal.
Yeah, if you're very honest. And I think for Arteta, which is we're talking about Arteta now, for Arteta to come out there and be telling us that some people in the bench of PSG told him the better team won. Those people are deceiving you if they actually said that. And I even saw another one that he said, if you use, I saw on the video, I don't know, I think he said something about the aggregate. If you use aggregate of something, that or maybe home wins, that you are the best. Bro, you lost. When I saw some interviews that Arteta did after the Champions League, it made me to be reminded of Enrique. Giving excuses for failure. You failed. Keep quiet.
One thing where I want to take the pressure off Arsenal is, and this is not me supporting or doing it. I just feel like I never saw them going into the Champions League to that level. I just feel like they increased the order of when they are coming next time, they are a threat. Like everybody will have to watch out for this thing. But now we have spoken about where they got it wrong or the issues with Arsenal team in 3 years and this season, to be precise. We have provided some kind of solution. Now the question is, what's next for Arteta himself before we talk about Arsenal in general?
Yeah, so I think first of all, let me praise them in terms of nobody expected them
to go that far.
Go to the semi-final. That's the truth. Nobody even expected them to beat Madrid, which I believe they did in very good fashion. And that's kudos to them. And nobody is saying that Arteta has not built something in the years he has been there. It's clear and obvious. But what we are saying, and we have been saying it, even you can go and check our videos, even before the semi-final time, months before they got the semi-final, that they cannot stop where they are. They need to keep building. You don't rest on your laurels. And I think that's what they must do now. In the sense of, I want to say this boldly, looking at the kind of fans that Arsenal have, I believe Arteta has only one more season at Arsenal if he doesn't get it right.
I feel like the boards are backing him so much, and
it will say a lot if they let him stay. If he doesn't win anything next season, and they let him stay for more years, I think he should just tell them that and tell the fans that they are just happy with
where they are.
But if they want to push forward, I think Arteta has one more season and he must prove himself in that season, because there are obvious things they have to do. And one of the things I believe they have to do is you need to get a striker.
Okay.
Not just a striker, that's number one. Not just Arsenal getting a striker. Arsenal need to revamp their wingers. Arsenal only has, in my opinion,
Saka,
and let me say Trossard. Because I feel Trossard can be a bench player that Martinelli should not be in that team. I've seen him many, many times. Martinelli should not be. But maybe Arsenal are attached to players. I understand that. Martinelli is not a good footballer. He's not a footballer that should be playing for a team that wants to win the Premier League. So sell him off, get a better winger. Saka, you need somebody that can actually play when Saka, because Saka needs to be rested. He's already showing the fatigue. He's showing the fatigue. The injuries are already beginning to creep in. So you have to manage him with wisdom. So they need a revamping of this thing. I feel Arsenal needs a creative midfielder. In a creative midfielder, Odegaard, we have been saying it many times. I don't know what Odegaard is creating. And so one of the signs that a player is already going down the drain is when they are overly dependent on one skill. A point in this season, we said it on this podcast, when Odegaard will always do the ball behind the defensive line. And I was like, is it the only pass you can throw? Maybe he's still a young guy. I don't think he's I don't think he's up to 28.
It should be 26, 27.
27. So, but let there be competition. Maybe competition can. I know he's the captain of the team, but let there be competition. Let there be this thing. And then lastly, I believe they need to get centre backs. You have used a centre back pairing, in my own opinion, I think does not last more than 5 seasons. A particular centre back pairing before wear and tear begin to occur. And you can see clearly wear and tear is beginning to occur. You can't use Saliba Gibe.
Yeah.
Like mix it up now.
Replace,
mix it up.
But if they're looking at getting centre back, speaking about centre backs, and if they're looking at bringing a centre back into the club and is at that level, every centre back that is at that level wants to come into a club where they can get their hand on.
No, it's not at that level, because if you those 2 guys I mentioned, Saliba and Gibe, they are very good defenders, one of the best in the league.
I feel like I have a little bit of doubt with Saliba.
Yeah, obviously. I know if you want us to say that, Arsenal fans might come for us, but I think Saliba has not lived up to the potential.
Yeah, up to the potential. That's the right.
Yeah. I don't want to say he's a bad defender.
No, not.
But I feel there are a lot of games I watched this season. I'm like, this guy should be doing better than that.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
The issues I have with him, when I want to say top defenders or defenders at that level in the centre back, I used to see them like people that can comfortably hold the ball, sometimes move the ball forwards themselves, like without missing the ball. Sometimes when they get the ball, they are not, you can't find pressure on them. But with Saliba, sometimes he holds the ball and you're looking like he's pressured.
Even to track runners, when maybe they cross or not, to track runners, it's difficult for him. You know, he's not physical enough. I saw the way he was a little bit struggling against Kvaratskhelia against PSG, and I was like, the process is there, but I think it's obvious, even though Arsenal fans don't believe what we are trying to say about Saliba, it's obvious that at the beginning of the centre-back pairing, Saliba was the better.
He was the better
one. But you cannot say Saliba is the better one now. Gabriel is far, far better than Saliba currently. Yeah. So that means something has happened. So I think we just say
that. So that's a very nice review. We are very happy to have you here on the show.
Thank you very much, and it's good to be here. Let's not rule it out. Arsenal might win the Champions League next season. It's possible.
I have my, they try their best. First season, second season, third season. But the question now is, can they go on in the 4th season and keep up that consistent level of play and at the end bring something in? So we will not have to start coming back to have conversations like this at the end of the season. So thank you very much for sticking with us. This is brought to you by Vertical Football. So please like, share, and subscribe to this channel if you have not done that. That's what keeps us moving. We'll see you another time. Thank you.